Feeling overwhelmed by the complexities of creating a Dolby Atmos mix? No need to worry. In this video, we'll break down the essential steps. The first step, as you would expect, is to import the session files, both the processed stems and the stereo master reference. We're going to use The Long Way Home by Jamie Miller. Alright, cool. So we're going to bring all these files into new tracks. There they are. And let's find the master file, which is this one right here. We'll bring this to the top. Alright, cool. Now, the most important thing here is to make sure that all the stems line up to the stereo master. And sometimes they don't. Oftentimes, they really don't. So you want to zoom in, and obviously they don't. What I like to do is I like to use a keyboard shortcut in Pro Tools, which is called Tap to Transient. Chop out the beginning. Find the first instrument with that transient, which in this case is the AC1 guitars, and then nudge that over. Now both my stereo master and my stems are lined up. Let's bring back that pre-roll on the stereo master, which is super important. And now what we're going to do is we're going to trim the beginning of those stems to line up to the stereo reference. I'm going to hit semicolon, hold shift, scroll all the way down, and click A. That's going to chop off the empty space at the beginning of the files. Let's select the master file, hit right arrow, and do the same for the end. Okay, cool. So if we look this into view, our stereo master is here and all our stems are properly lined up from beginning to end with all the transients at the very beginning lining up. That is probably the most important thing about Dolby Atmos mixing, is getting the time length and the start time right. Now I'm going to import my mixing template, which you guys can also find the video on YouTube. I'll bring in the binaural, stereo reference, and my folder with the bed and objects. I'll also bring in the trim. So in my template, I have a 714 folder, which all the tracks go to. Now all the process stems from the mix engineer. I'm going to select them and group them to a VCA. And the reason that's important is that with one fader, I can gain stage the entire mix, because it's super important when you're mixing in Dolby Atmos to hit that target of -18 LKFS. Cool. So that's basically it. That's our starting point. I'll hit play. The stereo reference is routed to my audio interface, to the headphone jack, and all these stems are routed to my 714 studio, where I have an immersive playback system, which I can also check binaurally on headphones. Let's go and check this out. You guys can check this out on Apple Music. It's already published. I'll leave a link on the video description. While you're there, also download my free guide to spatial audio mixing. Thanks again so much for watching. Peace.